Welcome back everybody, let's have a look at Bitcoin and we'll have a look at Matic as well, just for the sake of the channel. I'll be dropping a few videos I think tonight, just because I imagine a lot of people are going to wonder what's going on. Alts have been rallying obviously, and Bitcoin's been and still is like pretty undecided. Now I mean, for me personally, I'm edging towards the bears. I have been in a while. You go back on my video on my channel now, you'll see that for over a month now I've been saying we're in a downtrend, and I mean it's clear that we are in a downtrend now. The problem, or not the problem, but the big question is, has the downtrend finished? Where are we going to go from here? So let's have a little look at that first of all. So first of all, we had a downtrend begin on this wick here that brought us down to around about here, and then we broke out of it. I mapped a second downtrend within the downtrend, but this downtrend has higher lows on it, which means that there is some form, not that I don't believe we could probably map it out to a great deal. It doesn't make any sense right now, I should say, unless of course we decide to dump down to this level, which would be actually between today and tomorrow, that's going to be around about 9,000. So actually we could come down to test that as support, and we'll see where that comes from, see where that goes. One thing I should say is that this dump that's happening right now, this pullback should I say, it's not a dump really with Bitcoin, it's in a tiny trading range. It does seem to coincide with what I'm looking at on my phone here. Now I do follow stocks as well. Clearly you have to when you're trading at the moment, because everything is quite very closely linked and correlated at the moment. Alts, Bitcoin and stocks are all kind of dumping together, alright? So the S&P I'm talking about specifically, so that's just taken a nice tumble, and I'm expecting continuation. Now I've been saying this for a long time, I'm expecting continuation, but for Bitcoin specifically, it's holding up alright, considering what I've just seen actually with the S&P. It's looking a lot better than S&P. You can get lost. That's annoying. Right, so for me, this is the deal with Bitcoin, and it's as simple as this right now. We have resistance downtrending, okay, and being respected from all the way back here. So downtrending for a month now, being respected within this level here. 50 exponential moving average, we're above that, which is technically in my book bullish, or it could be the start of something bullish. We've been held up above that now for over a week, and basically closing above it every single time. We have these little dumps, wicks go beneath it, but every single time we've gone beneath it, we've closed above it. So technically that's showing relative strength, alright? So that's good, that's okay. If we break down beneath that, and that begins to be again a resistance point, then I would probably say that this would be tested, and if that breaks, then it's the 200 exponential moving average, which will bring us down to around about 8,760 as of today. This is trending upwards every day, which is good, but still that's the area of support beneath this area. So we're talking about 9,000 area to break before we come down to that level. If that breaks, then it is incremental steps down to these blue boxes, where I believe we will likely find a bottom if these areas break. So the first area is anywhere between 7,683 to 7,485, so around about a $200 range there. And if that breaks down, we're talking areas of 660 to probably around about 6,400, so 6,600 to 6,400. So that is basically the deal with Bitcoin. It's as simple as that. And while we're stuck in this trading range, what I've been doing is I've been placing longs around this area. So I'll be going long shortly. I'm waiting to see if we wick down beneath it. I'm keeping a close eye on the S&P, for instance, to see what's going on with that. Because if that breaks down, then it would be quite nasty. But for the moment, it's only down what looks like about, well, I say only down, it's about almost 2%, which is a lot actually, in the space of a few hours. So if that breaks down, then this will break down, and we'll see how that goes. But I'd like to take it along to see, because what I'm doing here is I'm longing anywhere above this area here, above the green 50 exponential, and in the hope that it breaks and we have continuation. If it fails, if it touches this and it fails like this, then basically if I get it in time, I'll go short, and in the hope that we break down beneath this area. So stop losses really are quite easy. If I'm short and the short bounces, I can take profit, or basically where I take it on, because this is the trading range. If this fails, I close my long, take a short. If that fails, I close my short and take a long. You see where I'm getting at? Either way, we're in such a small range here, and the move can be so great that you can actually make some decent profit. Now, I'm not a financial advisor. This isn't financial advice. The next move, the move that will come out of this, whether it's up or to the down, will be over $1,000 in one go, no problem at all. Just huge. It'll be big. It'll be nice and big. It'll be simple as that. It'll be very big, right? But like I say, I'm prepared to take a little hit here and there in this trading range, because, like I say, I mean, at the moment we're being supported and rejected within this little range, so it's not much to lose in comparison to the gains. Now, I'm not here to tell you really that I know that it's going to go up or down. I can tell you, for instance, that there's way more longs out there than there are shorts. There's so many people long in this right now that if you look at it just from longs versus shorts, it's over 70% longs being held at the moment, which would suggest that there is probably more, in that respect, it's more likely to break to the up. But when I look at this chart, we're converging back in, diverging back into ourselves, back into ourselves beneath the 0 point of the MACD. RSI is headed down again, and the volume is still very low. And like I say, we're stuck within this range. It doesn't look good either way. I'm still believing that the likelihood is we're going to go down. You know, longs versus shorts, I don't really care about that. I'm one of the people that would rather go short on this. So let's have a quick look at Matic then, shall we? So Matic did a pump today. I can look at this in two ways. One way is that there has been a golden cross not too long back on the 4-hourly chart, okay, on both Sats and Tether, okay, so that usually causes a pump, but the pump didn't happen immediately on either of these charts. And what I would also say is that there was a tweet circulated today that there was an announcement of an announcement, which is one of those sort of things which is just absolutely hate that. I hate the fact that someone feels that it's necessary to announce an announcement. I mean, just think about that. It's just silly, alright? So that just, the way I look at these things is that, you know, I don't trade on the back of fundamentals, I trade on the back of charts, okay? So I'd be very happy to call this a golden cross pump, but then unfortunately that tweet sort of came out at the same sort of time as this, so to me it's a pump that shouldn't have really taken place if it was off the back of that. But looking at the chart now, we do see some interesting stuff, despite the pump and dump mechanism that Twitter likes to implement on these charts. So we've got our 4-hourly golden cross. Let's measure that up, shall we? So it took place around here. So to be generous, we'll measure from the bottom of there to the top of there. 15%. That's fair enough for a 4-hourly golden cross, definitely. We have this uptrend here. We'll go to a daily, it makes more sense. Uptrend, which was support, turned to resistance, and now has turned to support again. So if we look at this now, in fact it was way more interesting looking at it on the 4-hourly. What we see is we broke above it again and rallied, and we come back down to test it almost perfectly and bounce from that. Okay, so that's still good in Matic's favour, alright? And Bitcoin's finding itself a little bounce, obviously, because it's not prepared to die without a fight, alright? So like I say, you could easily go long on all of this right now. Every dip there's absolutely no reason why you shouldn't go long on every single dip at the moment. I mean, there's no reason you shouldn't do that. I mean, look at the state of the stock market. It's just going up. Every single dip gets bought until it doesn't, and it dumps. That's the problem I've got, okay? But like I said, every dip gets bought, so there's no reason to suggest that this will continue, apart from, you know, what I think is going to happen. Anyway, I digress a little there. So yeah, like I say, this is very interesting. We have been supported exactly on that trend, so the chart still remains intact in that respect. We'll go back to the daily to see what we see for the long-term analysis. So MACD now is diverging away from itself in a bullish way above the 0 point, which is very bullish. We've got nice progression on the MACD, money flow index, that's all very good. This was clearly too high too soon, and unfortunately coincided with this dump. Where do we go from here? To be honest with you, the way it looks at the moment, I think there's a strong chance, unless Bitcoin completely dumps into the ocean, there's no reason why we can't ride this trend back up again, and make our way up to maybe even the 25 cent, 27 cent area. But personally, I'll be surprised if we close above 2.3 cent on this one. I would be surprised if we did close above 2.3 cent today. That would be, but you know, anything's possible. Like I say, all dips get bought, and there's no reason that this has remained its supports above all major moving averages. Bullish MACD, so I mean, the chart in itself looks quite good still. So yeah, I wouldn't worry so much at the moment. I would definitely worry if you broke down from beneath this rising support, like I said, because that would mean that we've got this. We'll end up back in this blue box area if the green 50 breaks down. That would be, so we'll be talking about 2 cent again, and maybe 1.8 cent again. But it doesn't look very likely. But that would be the case if Bitcoin breaks down further. Sats, let's have a look at Sats. So Sats bounced right in the center of the 4-hourly Bollinger Band. So again, a very nice place for it to bounce, an obvious place for it to bounce from a trader's perspective. A lot of people trading this on your phone, and you have very limited tools other than a Bollinger Band, so I often find that Bollinger Bands get respected really well when it comes to these Binance traded tokens, because a lot of people will be trading it on their phone, and they've not got really, unless they've mentally mapped it out, or if they're using TradingView as separately, which is not the greatest thing to be doing. It's taking time and things like that, sort of loading up different apps and stuff like that. So I do notice that Bollinger Bands get treated and respected very well on these medium to low cap coins. So yeah, perfect bounce from the center of the Bollinger Band there. Anyway, that's all I've really got to say about it, so let's just keep watching this trading range between, we're talking about pretty much where we bounce from here, the green 50 exponential, or you could also argue it's the center of the Bollinger Band on the daily with Bitcoin, but it's roughly 9,200 to be broken down from. Breaking down from there, then I'll be looking for 9,000. If we stay beneath this descending trend, which is we have to get as of today, and obviously tomorrow and so on, We'll call it 9,400. Breaking and staying above that level should have continuation. Continuation taking us all the way up to this other super rejection trend line, which is just beneath 10,000. Anyway, I'll leave it with you there. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a nice evening. Take it easy.